Hello, welcome to Introduction to Data Analytics. My name is George Zakaria. We are looking at data analytics today, and please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you. Now, what is our objectives for today? We are looking at to understand data analytics, to understand the types of data analytics, to understand data classifications, to understand exploratory data analysis, to understand the stages of data analytics, to understand bias in data analytics, to understand the role of a data analyst. Now, before we go on, let's look at a work case scenario on how this data analytics is relevant, is important, and what is the end result at the end of the day? What does it look like? Let's look at an example. We are looking at Georgina the mango seller. Before now, Georgina just sells her mango, buys and sell, and then she just uses her instinct. Then Georgina suddenly discovered the importance of data analytics. And then with just simple tools like Excel and Power BI, Georgina analyzed her sales data. And what was the outcome? Customer buying trend. She now understood in her sales data that Fridays had the highest demand. Does she understand? Her pricing insight. Small discounts boosted sales, but larger cuts hurt her profits. She now understands the weather impact. Hot days led to more ripe mango sales. Now, this is what data analytics could do to a business. You can understand your customer buying trends. You can understand the pricing insight. You could even understand how weather impacts your sales. So with this now, that gives her what we call actionable insight. She was able to use this data to know what to stock, how to adjust her pricing, and even move her store to a higher traffic area, which boosted her business and outsmarted her competitors. And this is just the power of data analytics. So it's not just about the numbers, but at the end of the day, she made smarter decisions by the reason of actionable insight from data analytics. So, what is this data? We said data analytics. So, let's start from the journey of understanding what this data is. In this our present dispensation, data is the new oil of the digital age. Without a doubt, we are in a digital age. Not just our smartphones, tablets, computer, but we have IoT, we have robot, we have automation. You can go on and on. All these are digital platforms that have data as the blood running through their veins. So while we are in this digital age, there's an oil that fuels this digital age, and it is called data. Now, let's look at how we can compare it side by side with oil. Oil is being extracted from the earth. It's a natural resources. But the same way we extract oil, that is how data is being extracted. How is it extracted? When you collect data from website, from sensors, from transactions, like the sales data from Georgina the mango seller, that is data extraction. Then you refine. Our oil have to pass through refineries. Same with our data. The refinery has to be data cleaning. You have to organize and then analyze the data for a final product. Then what value does it give? As oil powers our vehicles and create materials like plastics, data helps you to drive decision. Actionable insight. It helps you to fuel innovations that you could outsmart your competitors. For example, we know of Netflix that refined the viewing data to recommend shows. The more you watch, the more you watch, the more you engage with Netflix, they began to know your pattern, your behavior, your appetite towards a particular set of movies. And with that, they begin to give you personalized suggestions without you even have to look for what you want. With just this personalized situation from previous patterns, they have had 80% increase in their viewer activity. So oil is being refined, which that oil through refinery turns crude oil to valuable product like gasoline, plastic. We have data analysts, which is our modern alchemists, the alchemists of the digital age, which transform our raw information into priceless insight. We have to understand this data, that it is also the building blocks of data analytics. Just like how when you have to build, you will need blocks to build, you will need bricks to build according to what you are using. So the whole house can be data analytics, but you need data as the building blocks of data analytics. We have data, which is the information in its raw form. We have numbers, that is raw. Sales figures on its own, you can't really see anything, so it's raw. The temperature, the age of a particular set of people. We have text, your customer reviews, social media posts, both negative and positive. We have images, which include satellite photos, medical scans. So, but these data are just raw, just like how oil will be raw till it passes through the refinery. So is data, which is the new oil of the digital age. It becomes valuable when it is collected, organized, and analyzed to gain insight and make decisions. From your sales data, when you collect your sales data, when you organize it, when you analyze it, you get to understand the demographics. You get to understand the age bracket that buys a particular product. You get to understand what happens during holidays, during Christmas, during Salah, what happens, what good sells the most. So that is refinement, just like oil. So this data we are talking about is everywhere. Me talking to you now, there's data. You on the other side, your comment, your subscription, that is data. We have many types of data. We have what we call raw data, and that raw data need to be processed, analyzed, organized to be useful. So analytics, the foundation of analytics is actually data. Without data, there cannot be analytics. Now, what is the transformative power of data analytics? Does it transform? When you apply it, does it transform? What does it give back at the end of the day? We have a grocery store. Every grocery store must have an inventory. And that inventory has to be with, okay, what product do you have in stock? And then for you to know what is in stock, you have to understand your sales data. And how do you understand your sales data? You apply data analytics. With data analytics on your sales data, you understand which product sells quickly and which does not. And you do well by stocking with which sells quickly, not just quickly, at what time of the year, at what time of the season. That is what data analytics helps you to do. So it optimizes operational processes of grocery store inventory management. In the non-governmental sector, we have refugee children who are trying to catch up with their education. You have to monitor, you have to evaluate, are these children doing well? You apply data analytics, you collect, you analyze the student attendance, academic performance, feedback from teachers, parents. This is what will help you to know the impact of the program, and then you can also identify areas for improvement. So this is how transformative this data analytics is, be it private, public, non-governmental. This data analytics transform your business, transform your endeavor, and helps you to make informed decision, not instant decision, informed decision, innovation, and then optimize operation across various industries. Data analytics is not local. It's not local. It's not only in Japan. It's not only in Nigeria. It's not only United States of America. It's not just in a particular continent. According to World Economic Forum, the data revolution create endless opportunities to confront the grand challenges of the 21st century. Yet, as the scale and scope of data grows, so must our ability to analyze and contextualize it. We have the case study of one of the challenges, which is COVID 19. With this COVID 19 now, if you apply data analytics, you can analyze, contextualize the massive data set of what has happened, and then you can organize, and allocate resources efficiently. You can even issue target warning, even present what to do going forward in a form of prescription. So this is what data analytics does. From the satellite sensor, you could know data from the hospital. You could even know the hotspot from the data coming from the satellite sensor. Then we have the social media post, which has a lot of massive data. So during the COVID 19, a lot of data analytics was applied to know the hotspot of this disease, to issue warnings, to be able to allocate resources accordingly. So this is how data analytics can help us to address global perspective, not just the previous COVID 19, but the challenge we have at the moment and the ones ahead in the future. Data analytics is truly an exciting career path. It's rewarding because data analysts are found everywhere. It's not even just a career path, even as an individual, you need data analytics. You need to apply data analytics on your budget, data analytics even in your kitchen, data analytics as a family man with your children, their academic performances. You could use data analytics. We have the healthcare, we have government. Healthcare, we just talked about COVID 19. During the COVID 19 situation, the massive data set, massive data was coming from sensor, from hospitals, but data analytics was applied to know where is the hotspot for outbreak, to issue early warning, to know where, okay, elderly people was, why elderly people are being affected, why younger people are not being affected. Data analytics was applied, and that revolutionized how we respond to situation in the healthcare sector. We have the government sector. For government to give you the best of public service delivery, one of the ways they could do it is census. We have census to know the number of citizens every country has and to know how to apply or allocate the scarce resources for every country. We have education to tailor learning experiences. We have platforms that have inbuilt artificial intelligence. They use the analytics gathered to know how to tailor particular experiences. If I go on that platform and I learn analytics, I pick Python, they will be able to tailor other Python courses for me without even me asking. We have non-profit. We just looked at the refugee children. You could monitor, you could evaluate, you could know the impact so far and how to make improvement. We have finance. Per time, you could understand the pattern of how the customer is using a particular bank account. And by that pattern, the data being given in real time, you could know if a fraud is about to happen. We have the retail. A superstore can know, okay, this should be in the inventory and this should not be in the inventory. We have optimizing supply chains. You can optimize, know the best route per delivery. This is how exciting, and this is not limited to only this field. Then we have the power of modern data. Data are diverse these days. They are unlimited. The potential is unlimited. Data can come in the form of text. It can come in the form of visual. It can be transactional. It can be a sensor. Now, Uber. Let's say Uber can be able to use text message from social media. They can be able to use the text from social media posts to be able to understand and get feedback from customers and address their concerns promptly. The transactional data can be used in real time to understand the trip durations, driver availability, ride request, so that you could know how to adjust your pricing. You could also use sensor GPS from the car to optimize routes so that it can reduce travel times for both riders and the drivers. So this come with benefit. So not just that the data are diverse and have unlimited potential, it is used in real world cases, they are benefit so that you can have a 360-degree understanding of the customer behavior. You could make more accurate predictions and forecasts, and you could personalize user experience. After understanding the customer behavior 360 degree, you could make personalized user experience for a particular customer, and then also improve your decision making across industries. And from there, innovation comes. There's a shift in decision making. Before now, you have to go to an office and meet a manager who knows it all, who have all the wisdom to make decisions. Nothing is being carried out without the go ahead of that manager, and that manager have to possess a good instinct. But now we have a new approach thanks to data analytics, and that data analytics has to do with data driven decision making. You use your data, you collect, analyze, and then make data driven decision making. Real time insight informing strategy. In real time, you could make your decision. You could make rapid transformative change in operations. That is how we have shifted from not just management instinct, but from to managers, management waiting for us so that they can make data driven decision. So it helps us to be proactive rather than reactive. You don't longer wait for challenges and opportunities to come. You anticipate them. You are ready for both challenges and opportunities by the help of data analytics. We have data classification. We have structured data. Our data are structured, semi-structured, unstructured. Structured data are organized in a fixed format. Let's say a company's customer database. We have the semi-structured data, has some organization but is not fixed. So for structured data, we have your database, your normal database that has the rows and column, which is structured. Its rows and column is fixed. Semi-structure is not fixed. We have an email, we have unstructured data. We have your social media post, which has no predefined format. So these are three classification of data: structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data. They are concepts, they are terminologies, just like every field has its own terminologies. We also have it in data analytics. We have data. For the rest of your life in data now, you'll be hearing data, and these data are just raw facts and figures collected across organizations. They come in various formats. We have the data set, a collection of related data, can be private or public. They often contain multiple files. We have metadata, information about the data set. It describes content and formatting and help analysts understand the data. So when you get the data which is raw, it is normally also called data set, which is collection of related data. When you get a healthcare data set, it's all about health related issue. When you get a sales data set, it's all about sales issue. And when we mean private, you can walk in and carry the file of a patient in a hospital without a permission or legal arrangement. That is private. But when we say public, it is probably in a public library or on a website being published for public consumption. And when we say metadata, we are saying that, okay, this information, this is what it is. It has so column, so rows, and then whatever content and formatting that data set has, it is contained in the metadata. And then this data set comes in a format called CSV, comma separated values. It is a common format for data exchange. You can easily import it to any tool. That is why it is common and is often used in a public data set. So in your journey of data analytics, you are going to hear data, data set, metadata, and then CSV. There are essential questions for data selection. Having gone through this data so far, these are essential questions you need to ask. Is this data relevant? Is it relevant to what you are doing? Because you can't be analyzing health issues and be looking for sales data. Is it accessible? Accessible, is it primary or secondary? Secondary means the data is already being collected and you just go and pick it. But if you have to source it, which is primary, you have to go through other forms of data collection, like your Google form, Kobo Collect. Is it reliable? That is the source you are getting it. Is it an authorized institution to give that kind of data? Timeliness, how often is it updated? Are you analyzing a particular issue in 2024 and the date stops at 1999? How is the legal and the cost? What are the licensing requirements and associated costs? You have to look at that. Are you using someone's private data and you need legal consent, or do you need to buy a particular data and it's not for free? And you have to check the format you are getting the data. Is it compatible with the tool you are working at the moment? So these are essential questions for data selection, which helps you to save time and it helps you to enhance accuracy so you don't have to go far and come back, and also give you the relevant insight. Now we have common data types in analytics. We have string, text or sequence of characters. We have string, which is names, str. We have integer, which is whole numbers. Let's say, for example, the age. We have floating point, which is float, which has to do with price. It can be 2.3 cent, $2.3, 4.3 naira. That is float for you. We have boolean, which has to do with true or false, yes or no, 1 or 0. True, it will be 1, 0, it will be no. So either way, boolean has to do with just two possible states. It's either true or false. It's either yes or no. Then we have date and time. That has to do with your birthday. Your birthday falls under date. Order date, the day in which goods are being ordered, it falls under date. Then date can also come with time, the particular hour, minute, and seconds. So these are the common data types in analytics. We have the four types of data analytics. We have what happened, which is descriptive analytics. Why did it happen? Diagnostic analytics. Predictive analytics, what might happen in the future. Prescriptive analytics, what should be done next. Descriptive and diagnostic analytics, understanding the past. Descriptive analytics summarizes historical data. What has happened? You just want to summarize your sales in the year, your average sales weekly, that is history. Engagement metrics, how your site has been engaged. Let's say the number of likes, dislikes, and then your survey results. Those are descriptive analytics. We have diagnostic analytics. When a patient goes to a hospital and there's a challenge, it has to go through diagnosis, which involve tests. Same with data analytics. When there's a problem, you have to ask, why did it happen? Let's say, for example, why do people cancel subscription on your platform? You could also understand demographic correlations from there. That is diagnostic analytics. We have predictive and prescriptive analytics, which shapes the future. Predictive analytics, what's happening in the future. You are forecasting what might happen. Sales forecast, what your sales will be like in 2025 and you're in 2024. How your customer are likely to behave in the next 3 months. And then if you're in the security firm, what are the likelihood that they'll breach your security? Same with prescriptive analytics. It recommend actions based on predictions. After you diagnose, you know what is wrong. You have to give prescription as a doctor. Same with data analytics. What should be done? You have to combine insight from other types and know, okay, this is the GPS navigation. I have to suggest which route will be easy. This is prescriptive analysis. All right, I've seen my customer preference have changed and they are liking a particular good. I am going to increase in stocking this good and reduce stocking this good. These are prescriptive analytics. It shapes the future. We have the power of combined analytics. All four types work together. These are just principles to guide you. There is no strict sequential order. All of them can be used simultaneously. No prerequisite for using any type. So you could use diagnostic to reveal shift in customer preference. You could predict your forecast. You could prescribe new product line. So these are all together to guide you to make informed decision, strategic planning for your business. We have the EDA, which is exploratory data analysis. It is the initial investigation of data to discover patterns, spot analysis, and summarize main characteristics. For example, you are getting a land, you park into a new neighborhood, you just go out. You are not necessarily, let's say, getting something from a grocery store. You just want to go out and know where the grocery store is. You just want to go out and know all the routes to your house. You are just exploring, understand your neighborhood as somebody who's entered a new neighborhood. So same with data. You could get your data to calculate the basic statistics, mean, median, and standard deviation. You could visualize, let's say create charts and graphs, histogram, scatter plot. You could clean your data during EDA. Let's say, for example, I just did a water survey. I could calculate the average access rate as a part of EDA. I'll create bar chart of access by region, and I could identify region with low access. So EDA makes you to understand your data, and when further questions, further analysis come, it won't take much time because you have already understand your data at the moment. So it's a crucial first step for analysis. You have to understand your data, you have to prevent every misinterpretation, and you have to plan for more detailed analysis. Then there's the term data analytics and data analysis. Data analytics is specific. I just got my data and I want to understand the top selling products. That is data analysis. I just want to examine, clean, transform, model my data. It is just specific. I want to get my information, draw conclusion, that is analysis. But when you say data analytics, you are looking at broader discipline. Let's say, for example, it encompasses the entire data lifecycle. Data collection. I'll have to collect data. I'll have to store my data in a secure place. I'll have to use analysis tools and techniques and how to interpret an application of insight. That is data analytics. It is a whole journey, which means data analysis is a subset of data analytics. So analytics covers the entire journey of data, while analysis focuses on examination and interpretation phase. So for example, I just said data analysis. You want to know the top selling products, and data analytics, you collect, you store, analyze, and use insight to inform marketing strategies. The stages of data analytics. You have to first of all define the problem, because data analytics is not a game where you step into and want to win, and then you are going there to receive answers. And before you get answers, there have to be equation. So let's say, for example, I want to know the supplies that are most needed by families after a disaster. That is a problem. That is a question. Then I have to ask, what, who am I giving this information? Who are they consuming? Are they technical or non-technical? So I have to collect the data. Is it primary or secondary? If it is primary, I have to conduct a field survey. If it is secondary, I have to get it from a database. Make sure your data is reliable, having understand the essential selection criteria we talked about. You have to check the data to make sure it covers all the areas and include enough responses. Let's say, for example, in Nigeria, I want to do a survey. I want to carry out a survey on a problem across the 36 states of the country. I'm not going to use only data of one state because it doesn't cover. So it has to be reliable and sufficient. I have to clean and prepare my data. As we go on in the journey, we'll look at data cleaning also. So you look at data cleaning, you have to look for fix any errors, missing values, duplicate. You have to ensure all your data is consistent. If you are using surname before first name, make sure it's surname before first name, last name before first name. If it is capital letter, make sure it's all capital letter. If you're using a particular currency, make sure it's a particular currency, and then document your changes. Documentation is important in data analytics. Make sure you document. You have to apply data modeling. You have to structure your data for easier analysis. After getting the data, you have to make sure, okay, for example, in this context, I have to create tables for family details, need, and supply distribution. I have to connect my family details with specific need. I have to explore and visualize my data. How do I explore? I have to calculate basic statistics to understand the data, which involves exploratory data analysis. I have to visualize using chart and graphs to see my patterns. Then I'll have to analyze the data. Having explored, visualized, done my EDA, I want to answer further questions. Probably I want to determine the most needed supplies. I'll analyze using my tools, Excel, Power BI, Python, SQL, Tableau, and I'll have to interpret the result, because this result has to first make sense to me, the data analyst. I have to draw insights. I have to contextualize findings. I have to identify biases, and I'll have to communicate my findings through report and dashboard. I'll have to my findings through visualization, through to tailor my communication to make sure am I communicating to technical or non-technical team. I'll have to take action. Taking action is to recommend. Let's say, for example, after my analysis, I saw that, okay, 50% of male need this, 60% of male need this. So I have to recommend using numbers, facts, and figures so that stakeholders will make informed decision concerning this disaster, so that it could guide them in resource allocation, so that they could plan and track the impact of their actions. So these are the stages of data analytics, and they are biased in data analysis. You have to know that in data analysis, in the process of your data analytics, they are biased. A natural tendency that can affect our judgment, that is bias. You have to understand the importance for data analysis to be aware, and then that can impact your data collection, analysis, and conclusion. Let's say you are already doing your analysis, you have collected everything, and you want to go further on your analysis, and then you are only looking at the positive product reviews. You collected both negative and positive, and you throw away positive reviews for a particular product. That is a bias in data analysis. Let's say you want to select, you only survey only daytime shoppers for store feedback. What happened to shoppers at night, in the afternoon, in the night? or some selected days of the week. That is selection bias. Interpretation bias, you misunderstand what the data really means. Information bias, you use data that is already biased. Predictive bias, you use old data to predict new situations. So these are checklists you could use during your data analysis process. Whatever data you are using for a particular data analysis is relevant, as long as you have collected it using the relevant selection criteria. You don't look away from the other part of the data during your data analysis. So you could use these 5 common types of bias as your checkpoint during data analysis. We have the role of a data analyst. We said data analysts are the alchemists because they help us in this digital age of data being the new oil of this digital age. They are data detective. They investigate businesses questions using data. They are storyteller. They transform complex data into clear narratives. They are data cleaner, collect and prepare data for analysis. They are problem solver. They provide data-driven solutions. They are continuous learner. They stay updated. They have the relevant network of data analysts they always communicate with. They join platform, forum to learn from each other. They take courses, they take certifications, they sharpen their skills. So as a data analyst, you wear many hats and you combine your technical and business acumen. You don't have to necessarily go and study a particular course to sharpen your business acumen, but you could understand that particular niche you are per time so that you can apply your technical skills accordingly in order for you to turn raw data into valuable insights. So as a data analyst, you are a detective, storyteller, cleaner, problem solver, and continuous learner. You have to embrace this revolution. To keep on going, you have to develop your skills. You have to apply data-driven thinking. Stay informed, advocate for data, because this revolution is not going to stop. In fact, it is starting. Get the relevant skills and sharpen them. Be data driven in whatever you are doing. Stay informed, keep yourself abreast. And wherever you find yourself there is no data, you advocate for it. Thank you for attending our introduction to data analytics course. If you have any question, please leave it in the comment section. I am ready to answer. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share for further content on data analytics.